Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the market recap. And remember, if you're not part of the Discord, make sure to check the link in the description below to join the Lemon Garden Discord service. And if you want to join a service I provide, whether it's the day trading, swing trading, or tutoring services, make sure to check out the Patreon link in the description. And another reminder, in case you do not know, we are currently in a free trial for the swing trade service in the Discord. Come check it out. We have yet to lose more than one trade this entire year in both crypto and stocks. Absolutely killer. Make sure to join on up. Now, let's get into the news and then we'll take a look at the charts. So starting off with the news, had some big news today. Had the U.S. initial jobless claims come out. We had the U.S. CPI numbers come out, and the U.S. initial jobless claims did increase, okay, which was not completely unexpected. Didn't increase dramatically. They did forecast it being 220,000, ended up coming in at 225,000. But U.S. CPI did beat, especially the core CPI, forecasted at 6.5%, came in at 6.3%. Again, this does not mean that inflation has topped out or it's going to come down now, but it is a step in the right direction. So the markets took this extremely well. We had the futures for the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P shoot up to levels it has not hit in pre-market in a very long time. You rarely see a 2-3% move in pre-market. And that's what happened today. And the entire day, both in stocks and crypto, was bullish. And if you were lucky enough, wise enough to be on the long side, the bullish side of the market, like the Lemon Garden was, you loved today. We bought the dips the day before and yesterday, and we have been rewarded for it. Now, let's get into the charts and take a look at the dollar. Wow, guys, this is wonderful to see if you are looking for a rise in the markets, and especially a rise in risk on assets. So that's crypto, tech, it's a wonderful thing to see as we're going into the end of the year. And what I've been saying, look out for a bullish Q4. And this is really implying that we're going to see a Santa Claus rally potentially, because yes, we were in a bull structure. And yes, I had been saying that we were going to come back down, hold this descending trend line here, the bottom side of that bull structure, and then likely find enough fuel to at least go back up towards this fair value gap or the top side of this bullish structure here, and then fail off of it and come back down, okay? But instead, what we did was, in this single daily candle, what we did was we actually rose from the bottom down here, tapped this ascending trend line, which has been our support trend line from when the dollar had gone parabolic, rising up, and then fell off of it, and then actually wicked down and broke under the bullish structure. This is absolutely incredible. This is very good to see. Personally, I'm very happy to see it. And again, this doesn't really change the larger term picture of the dollar. I still think the dollar is going to be very bullish in the years to come for pretty much most of this decade. But this also means that we can't see a significant pullback because we've had a massive run here. So since 2021, we've had a historic rise in the dollar. So it's very prime and due for a significant pullback. And I would consider it, until proven otherwise, to be a bullish pullback. But during the pullback, that means we're going to see some upside in all the markets going forward. And that's what we want to see, as we are still long many positions. And if we want to start getting into high value shorts, we want to see things get overextended. So this is a great sort of start to that move. And this is starting to look more like a topping structure in the short term. Beautiful. Now let's get into the Dow. By the way, before we go to the Dow, the levels for the dollar are all marked on the chart. So we're at 108 already. Look for 106, eventually get tapped. I do see us start trading in here for a little bit, and then we may get that continuation down and eventually make it all the way to 100, which kind of coincides with this ascending trend line, which is a far more stable uptrend, okay? So watch for around 104, 102, potentially a little lower depending on how fast the dollar may drop. All right, going on to the Dow. All right, so the Dow had that not just a breakout, but had a breakout, then tested the descending trend line it broke out from, and then had a boom rocket rise. So now it's coming up to test out and try and grab the liquidity that's pulled above this high pivot. So we're on our way with the Dow. Didn't even have to come back down and take out these fair value gaps. Didn't need to get any more fuel. It had enough. This is absolutely fabulous. And again, this is happening off of the weakness of the dollar. Now, if we get towards this high pivot here and we start grabbing the liquidity, watch for a pullback. Now, we may have a significant pullback from there, or we may have a consolidation. We do have to wait and see how price comes into there. If price comes in very hard, sort of like this, like the next daily candle, or Monday or something, just comes in very hard, look for a retracement down, okay? And that would be totally normal, because we're potentially in the beginning of a major change of character, because we did break this descending trend line here. And then we'll look to target the higher pivots like up here, and then eventually the high up here. However, for us to get towards the high where the Dow is, the very all-time high that I hit, I do think the Fed will have to have a pivot change in their policy. So I'm very skeptical we actually get all the way up there without the Fed changing tune. So if the Fed starts to change tune as we're going through this breakout, then watch for the Dow to melt up, breaking its all-time high eventually, sometime next year, or if it's really, really, really bullish, maybe even by the end of December, depending on what the Fed does as we get to December. Now, looking at S&P, coming in to this fair value gap, finally broke through this minor resistance and taking this this high pivot here, and now tapping the bottom side of this lower fair value gap right here. And again, it's just following the Dow, following the dollar's weakness, and fighting at this, I would say, more major resistance level here, just under 39.70 to 39.80, and then eventually is going to break through 4,000 if we get that prolonged weakness into the dollar. Now, if it breaks under above 4,000, watch for this whole FFG to get filled, and watch for this pivot right here to get tapped, the liquidity above there, and then a pullback once more back towards 39.50, 39.60, and then whatever FFG might appear here, okay? And then next is the NASDAQ. So let's take a look at that. So NASDAQ approaching the descending trend line of the top side of this descending channel, looking great. We're approaching minor resistance, but after this consolidation, the NASDAQ should have enough to break through this descending channel, and we should finally have a move to the upside. Now, where are we going with the NASDAQ? Well, one of two things, okay? We could have a move towards the green zone and then a fail off. Whether it's on the top side or bottom side of the green zone, we just have to see how this plays out. We have to see if the Dow has a prolonged move, if the dollar's going to keep going down, or we're going to have an actual measured move. So go from the top side of this channel, bring it down to the median, okay? We'll do it like that. That's fine. To the median side, pull your trend line up to where it potentially will break out. Let's say it breaks out, tomorrow or Monday or something like that. So we're looking at around this zone here, so right above the green zone. So that's about 13,200. Okay. Now, what if it's doing a full measured move, which is the entire channel? All right. So the entire channel from the high to the low. Now let's see if we go from generally where we may break out from. It's the orange zone. Isn't it incredible? Isn't it incredible how this stuff works when you start putting the lines together? It all seems to have some sort of confluence, doesn't it? This orange zone will be the general target if we have a full measured move from this descending channel. All right, and that will make sense. Even if we have the minor measured move, which is just from the top side to the median line, what are we doing? We're taking out the liquidity above this level and probably tapping above the liquidity right here and filling out the fair value gap, or at least the bottom side of this fair value gap right here. Okay, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. This stuff it just works. It just works. So this is incredible. And then if we have the full measured move, look for the orange zone to get tapped at some point, whether it's a full filling of this zone or just the bottom side or top side. Either way, we're looking at a pretty significant move, which implies that we're going to have a boom in risk on assets going into as we go into Q4 further. All right. So now off to the oil chart. So looking at oil, Oil, came down after filling this fair value gap. We can actually get rid of this fair value gap. Let's get rid of that there. And so far following this pathway here coming down, but finding support at this level right here. Let me just move this over a little bit here. So finding support in this general area still at about 85 bucks. But after this drop here, what I'm seeing is just another rise up, potentially going back towards 88 to 89, and then maybe a pull, 89 to 90, and then a pull back under $82 going towards 80 bucks again, okay? However, if the dollar gets really, really weak, really, really fast, you can see a pretty nice burst into oil. So we may actually start tapping this bearish fair FFG right here. So the top side of it rather than the bottom side, going towards almost $90.50. If this gets fully filled and decisively closed above, be very careful and watch for this high pivot to get taken out, and that sort of structure will definitely imply a move all the way back up towards 100 plus. All right, this is not overly bearish yet. It's a little indecisive, but if we do have a decisive higher low after closing out this FFG and tapping this liquidity, I'm gonna say I have to start leaning towards the upside. All right, next is gold and silver. Gold, silver, beautiful continuation day for gold. Absolutely incredible. It has fair value gaps to the downside, so if it is going to retrace, look for these levels here. But this has been in the making for such a long time, since the high of the year, and now finally having that breakout. Whether it goes into a bullish consolidation, a continuation to the upside, or a full-on bullish retracement, in the end, you need to have bullish bias, and it's likely going to continue higher, especially if the dollar is going to stay weak. I love what I'm seeing from the gold chart. Next is SLV. SLV, potentially attempting to break this microphone structure that it's in. We haven't had a confirmation break yet, because remember, in my book, a breakage isn't just a closure above a level. It's having a daily closure above the level, and then the next daily candle closing above the high of this candle. Okay, that's the same thing to the downside. Okay, but in this case, for the upside, I want today's candle or the next daily candle to close above the high of this daily candle. All right, now let's get on to Bitcoin. Take a look at what Bitcoin's doing. What a day in crypto. Woo, look at that. I mean, major drop in crypto, and then today, I mean, we're seeing if we're just getting into a short squeeze here. I mean, after a drop like this was a massive drop, fueled a lot by the loss of this structure that's been built for months, pretty much since June. And also, obviously, all the drama that's going on with FTT and FTX. But, what we're currently seeing is we are getting a bit of a short squeeze. Now, we're going to see, are we going to get continuation in this daily candle that just opened up? Are we going to just, fail off of this level, which is essentially the bottom end of the range, right? The range that we had wicked under there just in this last daily candle that just closed. Are we going to fail off of it and then just continue to sell off? Was this just a short squeeze, and now we're just going to continue a downtrend going towards 16, 15, 14, and then potentially even 12K? It's really, we're not too sure. But if the dollar does continue to weaken, I do think Bitcoin will continue to go up. If the dollar starts to show strength where it's at around the 108 zone, then we're probably going to start trailing down. And before we break completely down, I do think we're going to have a consolidation here. Now, will this consolidation be bullish or bearish? Again, it's really early. We can't jump the gun. We have to let the chart kind of fill out the unknowns, let the picture get painted a little bit longer. But what we can see, if we go into a consolidation, look for a move kind of like this. All right, so you're having a kind of a grind down within this large candle up, and obviously this super large down candle as well. Now, will be bearish bias or bullish bias? In this case, it probably will be bullish bias, but the bullish bias in this sort of structure tends to be fairly short-lived. Okay, so if we have like a double bottom or higher low structure, don't look for us to just go right back into the 20s, right back into the 19s, into this range. Watch for this candle, specifically this level right here, to hold major resistance. Okay, in my experience with this sort of structure, 18,550 to 18,600 is going to be major resistance. It's going to be very hard. But if we do take out this first candle here, watch for an entire full retracement back towards the low right here. And the low I'm talking about is this low here, which is the fair value gap right here. Okay, this is what you need to watch out for. So a full move back to 20,400. All right, but if we have the dollar weakening significantly and it's really, really, really rapidly, watch for Bitcoin to just continue higher. But we're not there yet. It's too early to say. It's too early to say. I'm leaning more towards a consolidation that will have a bullish bias. But again, if we have any more issues in the crypto market regarding other exchanges, then just watch for the continuation trend to the downside. And that is it. Everyone, thank you so much for watching the recap. Thank you for being in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, please make sure you are. And if you want to join a service, make sure to check out the link to the Patreon, or just go on the Discord. There's plenty of information there. You can ask me questions as well. And also, take advantage of the free trial of the swing trade service. We're actually doing fabulous. I think since we started the free trial, let's take a quick look at what's going on here. Since we started the free trial in November here, in crypto first, we've been making an absolute killing. This is everything we've done so far in November. Solana 13.5%, Polygon 11.3%, Ethereum almost 9%, Litecoin 11.5%, Cosmos 12%, Ethereum again almost 9.8%, and then stocks has been even more impressive. We had a move, actually no, it's just generally the same. We had a nice trade of QID 8.49%, nice move of EWZ 6.4%, Silver 4.87%, GDX 6.17%, Nvidia 10.15%, JP Morgan 7.37%. It's incredible. And what you've noticed, there are no losses. I mean, so the gains have been kept. We haven't given anything back. Please make sure you're participating in the free trial while you can. And if you like the free trial, make sure to follow the service after it ends. $15 a month for the swing trades. And if you want to learn how I trade, it's just $100 a session. If you want to pay for the month, it's $300, and you get one session free. You get 4 sessions for $300 rather than just doing $100 per session. All right, everyone, that's it. Thank you again for being members and participating in the Discord. And always remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. I love you guys. Take care.